morning! This is the Morning Word Show number 70. I feel like it's a little too much enthusiasm for the vibe I'm trying to go for today. Which is more like, this is the Morning Word Show. Welcome to the Morning Word Show. I am Joseph. I am your, I don't want to say host because, and it's not supposed to be the Morning Word Show anymore. Habit. Gotta kick it. Really, what I have to do is I have to put something different there. So, as you can see from the title, that it's the Morning Words ? String, because I'm still trying to figure out what this really is. Is it a presence? Is it like an experience? Because I can't use that word because Joe Rogan's already taken it. Is it a center? Is it a meditation? Some of those words, each word gives off something different. And that is the point of words in general. Give off something different. So my streams are usually a half an hour. Today might even be shorter because if we have A, not that many people tuning in, and or B, I got literally the worst pile of stuff left over from the weekend. So people are like, oh, you go and you type poetry and it's good. And like, yeah, that's true. But one of the hardest things about doing all of this is kind of the cleanup afterwards. Really, it is. I'm just checking to make sure that my stream is good and the quality's set. It definitely looks good. So I'm going to make sure to close that out. Close up that tab. All right. So the hardest thing, though, is when I come back. Because I've spoken to so many people, shared so many ideas, collaborated on so many things, encouraged so many poets, given my card out to so many people that it just turns into a mess. Like, it's crazy. I have, people that have contacted me for events and things like that. It's all very good problems to have. Part of it I also have is a lot of scrap because I write a lot in between. I also have letters that I've written. I've started writing letters more on the walking wall in between poems. So we'll see how that all goes, balancing things out, just trying different strategies. And then you type all day on Saturday and you get minor carpal tunnel. That's fun too. So it's been a wild weekend and a wild ride. But I am here this morning ready to type out the finalized copy of a poem for a friend. This is one that we worked on the stream for a while. Called Macabre Majesty. About kind of ink stains as a prompt for horror. So this one is a fun little poem, and I wrote me a letter like 3 months ago, and I'm terrible at letter writing. I've turned over a new leaf. I wrote 3 letters over the weekend. They're all getting sent out today. I'm fixing it. So one of the things I have to do is I have to write his poem to be included in the send. So if you're tuning in, that is what I am doing this morning. And that is going to be the only thing I do this morning. So if the stream ends in 15 minutes, even in 10 minutes, I am more than okay with that because I have way more things that I've got to be taking care of this morning. But that is not going to be a usual circumstance. Just coming off of a very busy weekend, ready to just try to get things together and put myself back together. You ever have that feeling of needing to be put back together like that? I think everybody has that feeling. You go out, you have a good time with people, then you come back home and you go, yeah, this is all still waiting here. And that is life. It happens no matter what. I mean, unless you have literally nothing, or you have literally servants to take care of you. My wife and I are watching The Crown, and it's like, geez. As long as you don't have either of those things, your duties wait for you, no matter what. And they're always there. And so it's almost like, imagine having a bad housemate or like annoying housemate. And then you learn to negotiate and learn the things that you're okay with, things that you're not okay with. I'm okay with, occasionally leaving the dishes. I'm not okay with the house being a travesty and in terms of cleaning. But cleaning is also not the end all to be things. And I know I'm going into so many different tangents here, but as a child, when my parents made me clean, I wasn't emotionally, mentally invested in that. And so there was a lot of difficulty, a lot of tension that happened there. And I understood they were trying to, I guess, teach me a lesson about the world, but it was a lesson that I learned on my own ultimately. So I don't want to, but I also remember that when I went to college and I had other male roommates, I was the cleanest. My parents had drilled it into me, and they had set an expectation. So what is the right thing to do in those situations? I don't know. Why ask me? I don't know. All I do know is that I have sheets on the floor in the bedroom, and I have things, I have to wash masks. Mask washing is now a household chore. And not really, we just throw them in with the rest of the wash, but it's like you gotta time it right. Otherwise, you have no masks! And then if you don't have a mask, you can't go outside, can you? I am ranting this morning. Welcome to my my little rant space. How you doing? Let's get this poem done. And our music this morning, as always, is supplied by Mr. Fakir the Don. No, I'm going to write that in red. Unless maybe, I don't know. You see, like, ink stains was the prompt. So it's interesting because as we are nearing October, scary horror poetry will become a usual topic of request. I'm excited. I like that type of poetry. I don't like reading that type of poetry. I don't like reading those types of books, but I like writing that type of poetry. For some reason, this piece of paper is calling me to restart. I was not liking what I was seeing. So satisfying when the paper lines up right. Absolutely. Gotta be happy, perhaps. Welcome, G. Reggie the Dawn. I do typewritten poetry live streams. I'm currently typing a horror poem for a friend of mine. I've already worked it out. I just have to get it on the final page. Let me know if you have any requests, and I might be able to honor them in the stream today. Oh. My typos this morning are frustrating. Soil stains. Okay, walking mall poet. How does one register that eerie pronunciation of the spelling? Don't enumerate if it's too enigmatic. Friend or love your challenges. Reduce inner effort and discourse, therefore. On oath to eliminate the path. To the pass. Reggie the Dawn is dropping poetry in the chat. How does one register that eerie pronunciation of the spelling? Don't enumerate if it's too enigmatic. I love that. That is so cool. Honestly, I riff all the time. I will definitely. The stone builder refused to become the head cornerstone. They say, what if your building is something round? Correct yourself. I love these lines that Reggie the Dawn is dropping in the chat. I think I will maybe make some poetry based off of it. Soon enough, we will all speak and evolve patois. Absolutely. Language is changing all around us all the time. It's not the same. It changes, and one of the biggest changes that's starting to happen really is, for example, in chats, emojis, an emoji conversation is starting to take more prevalence. We're moving more towards a hieroglyphic culture, and that will have effects on our verbal language. What those effects are, I'm not sure, but definitely will happen. I gotta make sure I spell Rorschach right. Rorschach chaos. I actually used the word hieroglyphics in this poem. I forgot. All right. Morning, Cynical Chill. Welcome back to the stream. We are... you may have been here when I first wrote this poem, but I am finalizing a poem from a friend of mine. I've got to actually close the door and turn the air off for just a second. There we go. I was having trouble hearing myself think over the air. Cynical Chill is apologizing for not tuning in a while. Don't worry, it's been a bit of a wild ride for me as well. I took a week off and but I just I've been keeping at it. Let me get this tagged, poem tagged, and I'll read it. The stream is going to only usually be a half an hour, though. Sometimes I'll go for longer. So let me lower that. Alrighty. So, Macabre Majesty. Finalized. This one I'm writing for my friend Trevor. And it's good as we starting to slowly approach October. The Halloween costumes are appearing in the stores. You know the whole deal. Letting the droplets of design, toil of soil stains sinking into the page, raise from the barren vellum the lost path of adventure. Suspense, scene handcrafted with stained fingerprints, trailing river of blood dark ink pooling into lakes of guilt under my weary eyes. Poisoned veins of my characters, dead men walking in sepulchral silent seance of the tomb-shaped page. What do I see in the Rorschach chaos? The eddies and caverns, catacomb portions of my soul, shattered mirrors of insanity. There is an art here in the hieroglyphic hell. Untranslated black holes opening me to the abyss beneath the written word. The prompt for that one was ink stains, and my friend is a horror writer, hence mirroring the two worlds. Macabre Majesty, to be mailed out to the world. Let's write something else. Short one to celebrate Reggie the Dawn in the chat. Thank you, Cynical Chill. Really appreciate it. If it's ever not nice, you guys are more than welcome to tell me. A writer needs to know when he is full of shit. Sorry. It's true. But I really do appreciate the feedback. Send us free copies. Says Donnie Lucifer. Well, I'll send one to you free. If you like that poem, I will give you my email. But usually, anybody that gets a copy, an actual physical copy, I can send you a picture. That's not an issue. But anybody that I usually mail a copy to, I ask if they just contribute a little bit. I don't actually have any sort of contribution set up on this channel, but it's one of those things that I have PayPal and a Patreon and stuff. But feel free to send me an email with the name of the poem that you would like sent to you, and I can work on trying to send that out. Otherwise, I also do take requests. But we're going to do only one more poem today, and that poem is going to be for Roz. And believe it or not, yes, it is what I do for a living. It's actually both, really. As you so mentioned. I was working full-time and just kind of doing a little bit of typing. My typical thing, Donnie, is that I do street poetry. So I'm sitting out on the street with a little tip jar and writing poems for people that way. But what I recently did is I flipped from full-time work and part-time writing to full-time writing and part-time work. And what that really means is that I spend a lot more time reaching out to places, trying to set up events, and then I do type more on the weekends. So much so that my wrist was hurting this weekend. And that is what I do as a street poet. So the channel here is not the only place where I do stuff. This is kind of just a fun thing that I'm trying here, to be on Twitch and to hang out with people and to share ideas. It gets me up in the morning, though. That's the most important thing it does. 7 a.m. here in Virginia. I forgot where I live for a second. Donnie Lucifer also asks, what do you usually write about? So, being a street poet, you get a lot of poems requested that are about love, nice days, the weather, and dogs. Those are my three biggest topics. But what I usually like writing about, I would say I would frame it as philosophy. Being able to look at the everyday life, and I mean concrete things, getting up in the morning, going to work, things like that, but being able to celebrate the joy of the everyday. And so, yeah, that's my usual topic. Yeah, and what I'm gonna do is I was just scrolling back in the stream because I saw Reggie the Dawn's chats, and I want to make sure that I write a poem inspired by his chats, as I had said I would this morning. But Donnie, you can always check me out here 7 a.m. Monday to Saturday. And if you have a prompt that you so desire, my usual request days are Wednesdays and Saturdays, but I will take requests on other days as well. All right, let's switch over to our typewriter camera as we write about the sound of a word. So, Reggie the Dawn sounds very similar in the chat to another guy I know that pops in sometimes named Roz. It could be the same person because, I don't know, people can change their usernames. And one of the coolest things about these two people when they chat, and I only see them chat, is that they are chatting pronunciation and a language and just a way of chatting that is so different. And I can't capture it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to celebrate it, because when I see the way that Reggie the Dawn is chatting in the chat, it's just so different in such a good way, and so it's such a flow. So let me see what I can do to celebrate that. You do not have to donate Donnie Lucifer to request a poem, but you would donate. Oh my goodness, look at this. Reggie the Dawn just dropped another great chat in here. But back to Donnie Lucifer, you do not have to donate to request a poem. I generally ask if you could donate if you want a poem sent to you, like the physical copy, but I'm not gonna. I also don't want to seem like I'm like really trying to wring people out of their money. I know that people come from various different places and just, like to be here and want to celebrate poetry. So for me, it's less about the money, but it is important that I say up front that I do like to try to do this because I am kind of making a living out of it. Reggie the Dawn, I'm going to read this straight. If God is all you have, then you have all you. My bag of Gimini crickets came with the one stamped on John 4:3. Personal revelation, free me. If all we fear is God, then what do we fear when we fear God? When we feel fear God? Him. Well, the obverse of the divine, the direct touch of the divinity vicinities. Thank you, sir. Wow. That's awesome. Reggie the Dawn, if you have like a full-length poem that you want to email me, I dropped my email a little earlier. You're more than welcome to send me an email. It would be absolutely awesome to be able to read more of your poetry on the stream. Such a different tack to it, in a way that I can't possibly capture that. But I'm kind of doing a little bit of it in this one, in the poem I've been writing right now. Spencer of Grove, thank you so much. Virgil the Dawn is dropping some Swahili in the chat. Mandafaka is to come to an agreement. Indeed. I think we are doing that here. Where your words in the chat are kind of melding with the poem that's happening here on the screen. And yeah, I'm getting the vibe from it. Alrighty. Drop out our music. Bring back our laptop camera as I read Sound of a Word. In the attempted, but not accurate, but in the attempted style of Reggie the Dawn. Think about the talking tick-tock of the tongue making baby sounds around the clock. Philosophy of speed, accidental creation over the mystic plane. The word as name, breaking down the barrier of shame, worship. Every word is worship, every syllable is alleluia. Into the night of waiting, fading age, forces that page to tear out, that sharp bark of a holler over the Sahara. Silence is a poison putrid, so speak, speak. Shameless of the pitch and flow, we will know what to answer. Sound of a word. Well, I hope, Rajay the Dawn, I hope you enjoyed that poem. I am going to take the camera and be able to shine a picture of it over here. Thanks to everybody that tuned in today. It was really nice to have a good crowd on here today. I really do appreciate the company, as it was good to be able to kind of get some of my own work done, but also to be able to write for you guys. This week, I'm going to be working on some poems that are going to be presented locally at a cabaret. There's going to be a little bit more spoken word involved in that. So there's going to be a lot of experimentation. But as always, requests are welcome. I'm going to cap the show off here. Usually the show is about a half an hour, but I'll go longer if we have a group here. So I want to invite, if he's still in the chat, Donnie Lucifer to tune in tomorrow or any other day and let me know what your request is, or email me if you want to get a copy of a poem today. Welcome again to, it's not the Morning Words show, but I still haven't figured out what it's going to be yet. It's the Morning Words something, as we celebrate and enjoy and bathe in the words of poetry. Thank you so much, and you have a great day.
Akira is for the heroes.